Title, exit that isn't there. We were supposed to be driving to Orlando. That's what the minivan GPS said when we left Erie at 5 in the morning. The sky still bruised purple over the lake. Dad had a paper map folded in the door pocket, just in case, even though Mom teased him that it wasn't 1995 anymore. It was me, my little brother Caleb, my older sister Marissa, Mom, and Dad. 5 people, 5 seatbelts, 5 voices arguing over music and snacks. By sunset, the highway signs started looking wrong. The gas station. We hadn't seen another car for almost 40 minutes when the gas light flicked on. "Don't panic," Dad said, tapping the steering wheel. "There'll be something." There was. A gas station rose out of the flat darkness, like it had been placed there instead of built. One pumped. A flickering open sign. No brand name. Just a cracked concrete lot and a single buzzing light. The sign near the road said, "Welcome to Meridian." No population number. No county. Just that. Dad pulled in. Gravel crunched under the tires too loudly in the quiet. That's when I noticed them. 3 men standing near the building. Not talking. Not smoking. Just standing. They all turned their heads at the exact same time when our headlights hit them. They didn't wave. They didn't nod. They just stared. Mom forced a laugh. Friendly place. Dad got out. I watched through the window as he swiped his card. The pump clicked but didn't start. One of the men slowly walked over and said something we couldn't. Dad nodded. The man pointed at the store. Inside, the lights were dim and yellow. The shelves were mostly empty. No chips. No candy. Just dust and a few canned goods with faded labels. Behind the counter stood a woman who looked too old to be working. Her eyes were watery but sharp. "You folks passing through?" she asked. Dad said yes. She stared at us one by one. "You don't want to stay long." Mom forced a smile. "We won't." The woman leaned closer. "You already did." Dad laughed nervously and paid for the gas in cash. When we walked back outside, the 3 men were closer to the van than before. Still staring. Caleb whispered, "Why are they looking at us like that?" No one answered. We drove off. The first stop. I must have fallen asleep. When I woke up, we weren't moving. The engine was off. Pitch black outside. Dad had the dome light on, and the paper map unfolded across the steering wheel. "We took a wrong turn," he muttered. Mom hugged herself. "It's creepy out here. Just turn around." There were no road signs. No houses. No lights. Just flat land and a narrow 2-lane road swallowed by darkness. That's when headlights appeared in the rearview mirror. Bright. High. Blinding. A semi-truck rolled up behind us and stopped. The engine idled with a low, rumbling growl. Dad straightened up. "Okay. I'll just make a U-turn." Before he could, the truck honked once. Long. Deep. Not angry. More like announcing itself. The driver door of the semi creaked open. A tall figure climbed down slowly. I couldn't see his face. The headlights made him a silhouette. He walked toward our van. Mom locked the doors. The man stopped a few feet away and tilted his head. Then he raised one arm and pointed. Not at us. At the road ahead. Dad swallowed. "I don't like this." The trucker turned and climbed back into his cab. Then he drove forward, passing us, and continued down the road. After a few seconds, his taillights disappeared. Silence again. Dad exhaled. "Forget this. We're leaving." He turned the key. The engine wouldn't start. Back to Meridian. It took 10 minutes before the van sputtered to life. Dad made a careful 3-point turn and drove the opposite direction. After about 50 minutes, a sign appeared in the headlights. "Welcome to Meridian." Mom frowned. "That's not possible." Dad gripped the wheel tighter. "There's no other town around here." The same gas station, light buzzed in the darkness. The same 3 men stood outside. They turned their heads in perfect unison. Caleb started crying. "We just left here," Marissa whispered. Dad didn't stop. He drove straight through town. The road curved slightly and kept going and going. Then, the gas light flicked on again. The first death. Dad swore, "That's impossible. I just filled it." The engine began to sputter. Mom said, "Pull over. We'll figure it out." We rolled to a stop. Pitch black. Just like before, the dome light flicked on automatically when Dad opened his door. "Don't get out," Mom snapped. But he already had. "I'll check under the hood." The moment Dad stepped in front of the van, headlights exploded behind us. The semi, it slammed into him before any of us could scream. The impact shook the van violently. Mom shrieked. I heard bones break. The truck didn't stop. It just kept driving, and driving, and driving, until its taillights vanished. We sat there in shock. Mom threw open her door and ran into the darkness. There was nothing there. No blood. No body. No Dad. Just empty road. Then everything went black. I woke up. Sunlight through the windows. Dad humming in the front seat. Caleb arguing about snacks. Marissa scrolling on her phone. The GPS said 8 hours to Orlando. We were back on the highway. Mom looked fine. Dad looked fine. Everyone was alive. I felt sick. I looked at the door pocket. The paper map was there. Unfolded. The second loop. We reached the gas station again at sunset. The same one. The same sign. Welcome to Meridian. This time, I started screaming before Dad even turned it. Don't stop. Don't stop. Dad snapped, calm down. But the gas light was on again. We pulled in. The same 3 men stared. Inside, the same old woman looked at me differently this time. Like she knew. You're remembering, she said softly. My blood ran cold. What's happening to us? I whispered. She tilted her head. You don't belong on this road. How do we leave? She smiled faintly. You don't. When we got back in the van, Mom asked what she said. I lied. I said nothing. The second death. We ended up pulled over again. Pitch black. Dad studying the map. Mom urging him to hurry. The semi appeared. This time, before it even stopped, I screamed, Dad, don't get out. He froze. The trucker climbed down. He walked up to the window and knocked. Slow. 3 times. Dad didn't move. The trucker bent slightly, peering in. His face was pale. Too pale. His eyes were empty. He smiled and pointed at Caleb's. The truck horn blasted. The sound shattered the windows. Glass exploded inward. Caleb screamed. Then the truck surged forward. Metal crushed. Everything twisted. Silence. Morning again. Sunlight. Dad humming. Caleb alive. Marissa complaining. Mom checking her phone. I was shaking. I looked at Caleb. He looked back. Why are you staring at me? He asked. Because I watched you die. The pattern. It doesn't matter what we do. If we don't stop at the gas station, the car overheats. If we try to leave early, the GPS reroutes us. If we speed past the truck, something else happens. A tire blows. A deer jumps out. Marissa opens her door at the wrong time. Mom slips in the dark. Each loop someone dies. Never the same way twice. Never the same person in the same order. But always one less scream before everything resets. Except for me. I remember every loop. Every bone snapping. Every last breath. Every morning reset. The trucker isn't random. He's constant. Sometimes he hits us. Sometimes he watches. Sometimes he just honks once as we pass. But he's always there, waiting. Last loop he spoke. When Dad rolled down the window against all our begging, the trucker leaned down and whispered, "You're almost empty." I don't know what that means, but I think it's about us. Each loop someone feels thinner. Marissa forgets small things. Caleb doesn't laugh as much. Mom stares too long at nothing. Dad hums the same tune every time. Exactly the same. Like he's on a recording. This loop. We just pulled into Meridian again. The gas station light is buzzing. The three men are staring. But there are only two of them now. I swear there used to be three. Mom just said, "It's creepy out here." Hurry. Dad is unfolding the map. The sun is going down, and I can already see headlights forming in the distance. The truck is coming, and I think I understand now. It's not a road. It's not a town. It's not even a time loop. It's a tank, and every time we go around, it's draining one of us. Soon there won't be 5 seatbelts filled. Then 4. Then 3. Then 2. Until it's just 1. And when that happens, I think the trucker finally takes whoever's left. The headlights are closer now. Dad just said he's getting out to check something. Mom is telling him not to. Caleb is crying. Marissa is staring at the dark. The truck horn just sounded. Long. Deep. Not angry. More like hungry.